What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, along with the lovely
Tiftastic.
That's right. And tonight,
Tonight,
we are talking about
he's
something.
making up words apparently tonight.
Yeah. Tonight we are talking about something that is more than meets the eye. That's right. As some of you join us live here, this is our official Bumblebee movie spoiler. So I'll just let you know this: if you're catching this on the repost, know this:
This
we
is
will be
spoilers.
we will be talking about spoilers. We will be talking about this movie as if you came and saw this movie with us, and hopefully you have seen this movie. And if you have, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you guys think. So if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, please leave a comment down in the comment section. Let us know what you thought of the movie, and what your thoughts basically are of it. Of how good of a job you thought they did. If you didn't like it at all, what your ideas and your concerns and your complaints and your victories and all that good stuff, whatever you liked or didn't like about it, we want to know. And if you're watching this live, please, we want to have a conversation with you, because the Poindexter Lounge is what, Tiff?
It's a place for nerds and people that can talk.
That's right.
Apparently, you're like tripping over words today.
I am. Everything
Good and bad
died.
of being live.
Everything died right before we went online, so we had to wait a couple minutes for things to charge up a little bit. But we are here now, and you're here, and so we want to have a conversation with each one of you. So please, we will be live chatting as we do this. All right, so feel free to chat at us. We will talk about it. We will address your questions and your comments, and we want to hear from you. And if you're a big Transformers fan like we are, hey, let us know what you guys think as we go, okay? So that we can have a conversation, because that's what this is about. That's why we're doing it live, right? I mean, we could set up in the studio, and we could put a cool green screen thing in the back and have Optimus Prime in the back. What's up, Jay Plays? Hey there. We could do all that stuff. Eddie Volution. What it is, guys. What it is, Eddie. So we can do all that, but you know what? We like doing this where we're able to have a conversation with you guys, and so that's what we're doing. So we're gonna jump right in to Bumblebee.
Yes.
Now, if you guys have seen our trailer reaction video to this movie a couple months ago, you will know.
See that Enosh lost his mind.
I did, because honestly, when I heard that they were doing a Bumblebee movie, what's up, She-Venom?
Nice.
What's up?
Love the name.
Yes, in the house. Welcome. When we first heard that there was going to be a Bumblebee movie, that was going to be the next Transformers movie, I'll be honest with you, I was not excited about that at all. It just didn't seem like something that I wanted.
That they needed.
That I wanted to see. Awesome.
Nice.
She-Venom is doing fine. And so I just did not think that we needed a Bumblebee movie, and I wanted it. I was like, where are they going to go with that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we've already what are there, like 5 Transformers movies now?
What else are they going to show?
What else are they going to show? And to be honest with you, I was not impressed with the Last Night. Were you impressed with the Last Night?
No.
No,
I think I actually might have fallen asleep a couple minutes here and there in the movie.
It seemed like a jumbled mess to me. There were some things. I mean, there were just things they just didn't even address. They just acted like it didn't even happen. Like all of a sudden, Megatron was back. They never explained that. They never explained how he turned back from Galvatron. I was actually looking forward to seeing Galvatron and what they were going to do with that, and that just never even happened. And there's some clues there to say that Galvatron may have met up with Quintessa and been changed and all that stuff, just like Optimus was, was privy to the information and all that stuff. But they never addressed that in the movie itself. And so, I'm with you, Eddie. I'm a Transformers fan, so look, if the Michael Bay version is what we get, then that was what we're gonna get, and I'm gonna go see it because it's Transformers, and I love Transformers. there were a couple of cartoons when I was a kid that really made my childhood: G.I. Joe and Transformers.
And He-Man.
And well, yeah, I mean, there's a whole list, right? There's He-Man, Voltron, and if you're my age or anywhere close to that, that's what we watched.
Or the reruns.
Thundercats, a bunch of stuff. But Transformers and G.I. Joe were something very
Smurfs.
special.
Sorry.
Okay, they were something very Smurfs.
Smurfs.
That's where Smurfs live. They were very special to me. Those two, I mean, those were like the must-see, had to see every afternoon. So they are what they are. And so when I first heard about this Bumblebee movie, I was like, do we need one? And then I found out it was going to be set in the 80s. So that was my first clue that, you know what?
This might be cool.
This might be something good. And then that first trailer came out.
Yeah.
Well, and then they cast John Cena, and I was like,
But you know what?
look,
I
I'm a
think
wrestling fan.
But I think he did a great job as that role.
You know what? John Cena surprised me. When I first heard that, I was like, John Cena, oh man, how's that going to work? And I'm a big wrestling fan. We watch wrestling. We're into all that. But I just wasn't convinced. I mean, it just didn't seem like it was winning me over.
But he was doing like the kick butt military, and I liked him actually in the Marine when he played it. So I thought that was actually a great choice. And he had a little bit of character development in that movie too. So
yeah. So then that first trailer hit, and we're gonna address some of your comments here in just a second. I just want to get my pre-initial thoughts out, and then we're gonna address some of your guys' comments because I've already seen some great comments come through. So that first trailer hit, and I lost my mind.
You did.
Because folks, that is what I wanted to always see.
They bottled up your childhood and threw it in a movie.
It was like, shake it up and roll that dice, man. Because when I saw Optimus Prime and did not know that was coming, I went into that trailer fully, like not knowing what was happening. To see, Optimus Prime. I'm still getting a little choked up about it. To see Optimus Prime in all of his glory, the way that he should look. And then Soundwave with
the cassette.
With Ravage coming out like that. Amazing. And that was just the trailer. And if you have not seen our trailer reaction video,
it's a good watch.
Find it. We've got a playlist of all of our trailer reactions, and you can find it in there. So I lost my mind watching that trailer.
The kids were laughing because he was losing it and didn't understand why.
It was great. I can't voice that enough. So we were going into this movie last week. And so, Tiff, your initial thoughts, just right off the bat, of just seeing the movie. Just your initial thoughts off the top of your head. Just
from seeing it?
From just seeing the movie as in general.
I thought it was awesome. It brought back those childhood memories. It had the same look, the sound, the feel. I like how they explained Bumblebee, how he actually talked when he was on their planet, but yet then when he, trying to fight, the bad guys or the Decepticons, which I think they mentioned showed an actual threat this time.
Yeah.
But I think that it was interesting to show this is a great story idea on why he doesn't have his voice box and how it took the movie to kind of figure out how he could talk through the radio. So, but I thought that the character that they had, the main character for, the girl who took over she actually knew how to put cars together, and so I loved all the little nuances that they had throughout the movie, and it was great. It like, I didn't feel like it dragged too much. I liked the storyline. I liked where it went. I like where it can go still. Yeah, the comedy was good in it. It wasn't overdone or silly. To open up on Cybertron. Yes. And to even have, and I just recently watched the first season of Transformers, the cartoon again. You can actually watch all of that for free on various different things. But I downloaded the Tubi app, Tubi. It's a free app. They've got the entire collection of G.I. Joe cartoons on there. They've got the entire collection of Transformers, all of the incarnations of Transformers, and 2 or 3 of G.I. Joe. And I watched season 1 of Transformers again, and so freshly watching that first couple episodes of Transformers and then watching this, I mean, they copied some of those designs and things from Cybertron exactly that way, and so that was awesome to see. And then just to see Optimus running around, to see Soundwave, but man, to see Shockwave, and I think there was a comment up here. I want to get to these comments because I'm already seeing some great comments. Let's start with She-Venom. Said, love the movie. They made it like Iron Giant. Didn't I say that? Yes, you did.
I said that during the movie. I was like, man, it's like an Iron Giant kind of thing. They made it like the Iron Giant movie. Also love that they made Decepticons real threat, not random robots. Get beaten easily, so that's how Shockwave and Soundwave
Well, they
should
tried to
have been.
trick the military when they're like, "Oh no, Bumblebee is the bad guy. We're the ones that are trying to help you. Give us all your information that we can try and
I
help."
love that John Cena goes, I mean, their names are Decepticons.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't trust them. Their names are Decepticons. So I mean that was great. That was great. So I totally agree with you, She-Venom. Very much like Iron Giant. Very much so like it was you were in it right away.
Yeah.
And they kicked it off with a spark. Not
Not the L-Spark Q.
yeah, but they just kicked it off with a fire that was just like, yeah, I'm gonna love this, and this is.
Well, as soon as they showed Cybertron like that, and they're fighting, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you saw these people or these Transformers that you knew, you were just like, oh my god.
I mean, I knew from the trailer, and I was
but
still
he was
losing it.
still yeah, like there were people in the theater going like, what is your problem? And you're like.
Yeah, they snuck Starscream in there.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say anything, but they snuck him in there,
Yeah.
and just brilliant beginning, brilliant opening, and to see Shockwave was just great because he looked like he's supposed to look. I mean, just the bulkiness.
I was gonna say the bulky '80s look.
And I know there's people who say that that's outdated and stuff, and they like the way that the Michael Bay Transformers look. I always kind of had a problem with the way the Michael Bay Transformers looked because I just felt like there's too many moving pieces. Like I couldn't always focus on what was going on the screen, But yeah, She-Venom for sure. The movie was dark.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Cliff Jumper got cut in half.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, and I love the way that Cliff Jumper looked because Cliff Jumper resembled a lot of how Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper looked because they were similar cars. Even the toys were very similar. One was red and one was yellow. And even though he wasn't a Volkswagen Bug, the toy still looked very similar. But they both kind of had the same kind of design with the horns and everything. And so that was just what a scene. I mean, where they just cut him right in half. And he's just dead. He's just gone. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Cliff Jumper a little bit longer, but still, I mean, you knew the stakes were high.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You knew the stakes were high.
And you know that these Decepticons meant business.
Yeah, and as always, B lost his voice again.
Well, it was pretty. But I liked the story on how they put their kind of spin on it. Just like, hey, you're not gonna help give us Optimus Prime, where you won't be able to talk anymore.
Yeah, that was
savage.
That was well, you know what, She-Venom, you got a good point there. She says, I think he's still alive because they didn't grab his spark. It's possible. It's definitely possible. I mean, and we know that. I mean, they're robots, right? So, this is moving a little bit here. Hold on just a second, folks. Let me just get this.
Like Pinocchio, I ain't got no strings on me.
Yeah.
You can't go any further than that.
Yeah, I know. So we're a little stuck there. Okay. Sorry, my camera here died right before we went on live, and so I just got to make sure that it's plugged in. Okay. So, yeah, Eddie Volution says Soundwave voice, Ravage, eject, Ravage, eject. Oh! Like, I don't even care that you got to explain away the fact that they're still on Cybertron. They haven't even made it to Earth, and like he's got a cassette deck thing. I don't care, man. It was awesome to see that. This was truly the feel good movie for me.
Was.
I mean, like I loved Aquaman. I mean, Aquaman was awesome, but this movie like got me right in the childhood. Like it was right there to see.
Where is the childhood?
Somewhere above the subcockles, kind of adjacent to the I don't know.
The dangling participle.
Yes. He should have said Soundwave superior, Autobots inferior. That would have been
awesome.
That would have been cool. Okay, so going back up here, I want to make sure to get to everybody's comments because I appreciate y'all making comments. So let's get here to let's see. She-Venom says Bayformers has good actions, soundtracks, yes, and battles. Only death scenes are pretty dumb. Some of them, yeah.
Depending on who.
And the movies are just what they are at this point, especially the Soundwave death. Yeah. While Eddie says while the last night wasn't good, I still think they should conclude both trilogies with Transformers 6, but with new changes they're going to make now that Bumblebee did well. as the producer confirmed. Yeah, so let's talk about that a minute, because there was just things that they just ignored, right? Because we had already gotten an explanation for why Bumblebee didn't have his voice, and they gave us a new one now. So and this
I like the new one
Bumblebee,
better, but
and I mean there were so many like little subtle differences that I've even seen, you know, here on YouTube. I've seen various comments and theories about how this may not be the same Bumblebee, but you know, I mean, I think it would be too coincidental. You know, that doesn't really make any sense either. They're basically doing soft reboots of these things.
I love that they made Bumblebee like her personal, almost like pet. Like when he was in the house and he's like cuddled up in the corner, like he doesn't know what to do. And
Yeah.
I love the little. It reminds me of my dog.
Yeah. All right, can't talk till I say your name. It's gonna be a long video. No, it's Tiff. Okay, so, yeah, no, that was a great scene. That was great. Just the innocence.
Where he was trying to go through the dog door and he couldn't, and then he turns sideways to get in through the door, but then breaks everything else.
Yes.
It was adorable.
That was a great scene, and I agree with you, She Venom, that you got a lot of great comments tonight. I want to see a movie where Optimus and Megatron were brothers in arms before the war.
That would be cool.
Do you know that there was actually supposed to be a scene with Megatron that I guess it wasn't deleted, but it just was never put together. Like originally there was a scene written that was supposed to have Megatron on Cybertron.
Oh.
But I guess they decided not to go with it. Let's see. Eddie says, John Bailey, the Honest Trailers guy, yes. Voices Soundwave and Shockwave and Bumblebee instead of Frank Welker and Corey Burton. Yes. You know, I love Frank Welker. I would have loved for Frank Welker to have done that and everything, but still yet.
It was good for what it was.
It was good. It was really good. And for the brief moment that we got Shockwave in this, I mean, we didn't even get Megatron in this. So, but for that brief moment, I wasn't. Have you played Transformers: Fall of Cybertron? It's a really great game. I have not.
No, but that sounds like something we should do.
I have not. My boys probably have, but I have not yet. There are so many games that I would like to play.
Battlefront.
Yeah, I'm so far behind, folks. My
He's
gaming.
not the gamer that our family is. He's
Yeah,
like
in
the
fact-
only one that's not.
In fact, one of the things we're doing, since we are the Poindexter Lounge and we cover like all things nerd, I realize my deficiency in video game knowledge. People comment all the time about my knowledge about, you know, pop culture and DC and comic books and even Marvel stuff now and Star Wars especially. Gaming is one of those things that my gaming was my old NES,
school
Nintendo, and Sega Genesis, man. That was me all the way. And because I like to sit down, play a game, and I'm done. Now, every once in a while, I find a game that I get into, and I gotta finish it, right? But I have not. No, but I've heard good. But I have heard good things
We do have
about.
all three boys that are very much into Fortnite, into video games. They all have their own Switch. They have the Xbox One. So if there's things that you guys would like to see or games that they actually have played, they can do reviews. If it's something that interests people that, you know.
Yes. Plus, that being said, we've got a friend, Xavier, who we're going to have on.
Yes.
We're going to do a show with actually, who actually he's a manager at GameStop.
Yes.
And so he's got some knowledge of video gaming, and so we're gonna have him on and do a show with him. And I got some other friends who are gamers too.
And Isaac One Kenobi stand
Go
off
back
with
and
the
forth,
way that
yes.
they know their games
Yes.
and everything. It would be
Yes,
awesome.
for sure. Okay, so
back and
let's
watch
see.
them go.
Jordan, what's up, Jordan? Good to see you. When Flash is back, are you guys going to be doing live videos? Sorry, I haven't been here as I have been unwell. Well, I'm sorry that you haven't been feeling well. I hope, Jordan, that you get better. Yes, as soon as the Flash is back, we will be back doing live. We watch the Flash live with you guys, so absolutely.
And it's become a family internet thing. And
Yeah.
but with the fact that they're not coming back until mid-January, bums us out, but it gives us some time to do other stuff like this. So we figured we'd do, instead of doing spoiler videos, we do
we miss you
live
guys.
spoilers. So that way it kind of breaks up the monotony and maybe not seeing you guys because of Flash being off on hiatus right now.
Yep, absolutely. Caleb, oh my God, I can't even. Okay, hi, sorry to interrupt y'all's Bumblebee review, but we just got some low-key DC news. What happened? What happened, Caleb? Did I miss
Explain.
something? You got to explain, buddy. You can't do that to me. Okay, hold
Don't
on.
leave him hanging.
All right, Jason Bateman posted a Snapchat at WB Studios walking through a hallway of mannequins with different Justice League costumes on them.
Interesting. And Jason Bateman, what's he going to be in?
He then stops at an empty mannequin with a green glow. No! He then shushes the camera, and then the screen cuts to black, and the video says announcement coming January 2019.
No way.
Jason Bateman? As Hal Jordan? I could see that. You've heard it here first, folks. Caleb.
Thank you, Caleb.
Well done. I love Caleb,
Yes.
man. Caleb is the man. Caleb, I wish that you were around here, man, because I
Wish you were
think
closer to Michigan.
I would have you on here live with us, man,
Yes.
because, man, you rock, man. You really do. And I really appreciate that. So
I could see him as Hal Jordan.
we will resume the
Yes.
Bumblebee thing in just a second. But that right there,
That's some good news.
that's interesting. I was actually, if it's where I think that probably was at the archives there at Warner Brothers. I was there this summer with
You
all
got to
with
see
all
the
those
costumes.
mannequins. Yep. I wish I could get you the video, but it was one of those crappy expiring videos. So man.
Man. But just to get the news from you is awesome.
Yeah,
Because it
absolutely.
broke here first.
What's up, Black Storm? Just came by to watch that like button to watch that like button. Thank you so much, Black Storm. Appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. I got all these different things coming in here.
All at
Thank you,
once.
Black Storm. You rock. You rock. We appreciate each and every one of you guys who watch and help out. And every little bit helps. So thank you so much. But wow, that is really cool news. Jason Bateman possibly being Green Lantern.
That would be cool.
I love the fact that DC is moving along.
Yes.
Moving along. All right. So, people trying to call us. We got all kinds of stuff going on tonight, folks. Okay. So, great news. All right. So, here we go. Eddie says, oh, by the way, I actually did see Bumblebee at the early screening. Did you?
Oh, awesome.
Cool. Cool. I didn't get to go to the early screening of that. I got to go to the early screening of Aquaman, but I did not get to see Bumblebee until this last weekend. So, I wish Metroplex would appear in the movie. Man, how would Metroplex look in a movie? I mean, it's the size of an entire city. I think that's where, though, like even with The Last Night, where they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, because it just came out this week. One of the producers of the Transformers movies, said that he was asked about Unicron, and because Unicron is teased in The Last Night. But he's teased that he's somehow like in the planet. He's in the planet Earth, right? So you'd literally have to destroy the planet then to get him out. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like the Fantastic Four with Galactus, isn't it? I mean, like, can you really show him? Does that work? I mean, Galactus is so huge. I mean, he comes and eats planets. So, I understood what you were saying, Black Storm. I appreciate it. You can smash it, wash it, whatever you want to do, man. As long as at the end of the day we get a like, I'm right there with you. Thank you so much. So with Unicron, I would love to see Unicron, right? Because I mean, Unicron versus Galactus.
That would be cool. Be a whole lot of damage.
Tell you who doesn't win in that. That's us. That we don't win in that battle. It would take everybody. I think I gotta go Galactus on that, just because Unicron, Transformers the movie, the cartoon, is a classic, and they're able to beat Unicron, and so I think I might go Galactus on that one. I don't know. What do you guys think? Galactus versus Unicron. Two very similar personalities and sizes, but yeah. So I mean, like, what do you do? There are some possibilities for how Unicron can emerge without destroying the Earth. Have you watched Transformers Prime? I have not. So I would love to hear. Unicron can eat him too. Team Unicron all the way, right? So yeah, the Unicron would be interesting to see, and Metroplex would also be interesting to see because at that point, like, there's been so much destruction in the Transformers movies and in the Michael Bay Transformers movies that it's like sometimes you just go. I mean, I'm glad that they actually addressed it with Chicago.
Yeah.
Because I hate to see, like, when you see like if we watch the next Godzilla movie and they don't even mention the fact that Godzilla absolutely obliterated San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like, you know, cities don't just come back
No.
that quick. You know, I mean, you gotta. And so I was really happy that after what happened to Chicago, that they didn't just let that go. Right. Well, I know Unicron is much bigger than Metroplex, but I'm just talking about Metroplex in general. He's the size of a city. So if Unicron is hard to do because he's planet size, Metroplex, though, I mean, being the size of a city, who fights that, right? And I mean, that's huge. I mean, when you think about how big Metroplex would have to be, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the toy and the cartoon was one thing because even though it was the size of a city, it wasn't really the size of a city, right? You know, the toy wasn't as big. The cartoon thing, it was there, but it'd be out in the middle of nowhere, and then he'd transform and he'd be kind of smaller. So, Caleb says, everyone says this is still in the Michael Bay universe, but is it? Or did they reboot? Please tell me they did a reboot. So, Caleb, here's the thing. It still technically is the Michael Bay universe because it's the same Bumblebee. I mean, he looks the same. They actually address things that set up that are connected, that are connected definitely to Michael Bay's Transformers. But it's kind of a soft reboot in the fact that Transformers, the Transformers movies, they seem to do these things where it's like if something doesn't actually go over well, they kind of change it a little bit and they just don't mention it, right? So with this movie, that's what they kind of do. They kind of change some things up in the history and the timeline of Transformers, but I think moving forward, yeah, just like X-Men, It's like, well, we're just not going to talk about that, right? We're just like, you'll like this thing. Don't
Pay
worry
no
about
attention to this over here. Just look at this.
Don't worry about that thing that you didn't like so much because we got something new for you, right? So, so that's kind of what they did with this movie. But the thing is though, is they did it really well. And I can just say this, I really like the first two Transformers movies, especially.
Even with Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, because I thought that those were good movies. But this whole the whole Bumblebee thing, it was just a great movie. It was a great feel-good movie. You know what it reminded me of? And She-Venom kind of hit it a little bit. It reminded me of Iron Giant meets E.T.
Yeah.
Because it had that kind of connection. Meets Herbie the Love Bug. That's really, those three things right there, that was kind of this movie. It had humor. Caleb says, okay, while that can get confusing if that goes on for too long, again, X-Men, but if they do it sparingly, it can work well. Exactly. And I think this is a good starting off point, and I think that they're seeing the positiveness of it. Now, obviously, it hasn't made as much money as the other movies, so I'm hoping that doesn't...
But you might have people like you at first who are like, I don't know, do we really need this? Do I need to see it in the theater? Can I wait and see it later?
You know, it's made the least amount of money so far.
But it's also opening with Aquaman and with Mary Poppins and with all these other ones that people may be having to choose during the holidays which one to go to with their family.
Yeah, and so I get that. But the thing is the critical reviews of it have been astounding. They've been awesome. It's gotten the best reviews out of any of the Transformers movies. So that being said, you got like, you know, this whole kind of back and forth kind of thing, right? So it didn't make as much money, but yet people seem to like it more than the other movies.
Yeah.
And so I think that if they build off of this, it can be good, you know. And I think one of the keys to that is you got to give it off to different directors, right? You got to give it off. I mean, I think that that's one of the things that made this movie so good is the fact that it was a fresh take on Transformers. So far, Michael Bay, love him or hate him or whatever, he just has not.
No, we have not seen Into the Spider-Verse. That's the next thing that we're going to see.
Yes.
Because we only had so much time. Some movies we wanted to see with the kids. This one, the kids weren't as excited as we were, so that's why we went and saw Bumblebee without them.
Yes.
But we went
But
and
I
saw
think,
Aquaman.
But I think once my kids see this
heck
one,
yeah.
they're gonna love it.
Yeah.
They, you know, the thing is honestly, the Transformers movies have worn thin on my boys, and you guys all know the boys. You know, for those of you who watch the channel, my kids are. I mean, they're right in the mix with us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Isaac would be in here doing this review, but he didn't see the movie. So the kids love that stuff. But Transformers is kind of worn thin on them because it's just. I think it's overwhelming to them, the movies and just kind of the plot holes and that it just has not made sense. Caleb, I would personally, I want to see that shared universe. Now they got some things in that shared universe that I don't know would work so well. I think like Micronauts is supposed to be in that shared universe or whatever. But I would love to see at least G.I. Joe. And Transformers, and I would even go as far as saying I'd love to see Mask.
Yeah, that's true.
As part of that shared universe. I don't know that I would want Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers in there, but at least those three properties: Mask, Transformers, and G.I. Joe. And I think that you can explain that because Mask is kind of a combination of the two, because you have vehicles that transform. They're not robots, but you know they do transform. So okay, I'm trying to make sure I get to some of you guys' comments back up here. Caleb did mention something about Idris Elba, and we've always talked about that we would love to have him as going back to the Green Lantern thing. That apparently he's been posting some stuff too about that. Okay, so here's one thing I want to say. Yes, and Eddie, you touched on it. Bumblebee playing The Touch through the radio. Nice touch. Very nice touch. Thank you for that. What a great callback to Transformers the movie. The Touch. I mean, we all know that song. We all sang that song. People have made fun of that song. It's cheesy. It's 80s. It is what it is. But then to have Bumblebee playing that over his loudspeakers was just like, I feel right. I feel right. This is good. I'm in the right place, right? So did you guys like that? Because I thought that was a great touch for the movie. So. Let's see. Ethan says, I saw Creed 2 and Once Upon a Deadpool, and I really enjoyed it. That's awesome. We loved Creed 2. Yes. We never got around to doing our review of Creed 2, but I'll tell you what, I will just say this and about Creed 2. It was a great movie, and it made Rocky 4, which I love already, that much better. Yes. As a sequel to Rocky 4, it was really good.
I'm also glad they kept Milo.
So, you know what? Woo Boy makes a good point. In the cartoons, Unicron transforms into a planet. When we first see him in the cartoons, his head has been severed from his body and is just floating through space. So maybe it's just his head here on Earth. I'd be down for that. And I think it'd be a good way to explain that. Jeffrey, there is no Megatron in Bumblebee. There was a scene that apparently was in the script, but they never...
It didn't make the movie.
It didn't make the movie. So, and I don't think that we're going to get it in like a DVD release or anything like that because I don't think it was actually shot. Woo Boy says, here's what I didn't like about Bumblebee. So let's talk about that. The Autobots and Decepticons crash landed on Earth before they became Transformers. And the movie was not about the Transformers like Bay's movies. So let's address those two things. So the Transformers were always able to transform. They were always Transformers. They just did not have, they had to scan Earth vehicles. But if you go back and you watch, as I have, just this last couple of months, the first season of Transformers, that's exactly what happens on Cybertron. They have Cybertronian vehicle modes, right? So the jets, are they like F-16 fighters? No, but they're these triangular jets that fly around. Bumblebee, for example, is he a Volkswagen Beetle? No, but he's
That's
this
what
little.
he turned into, because that's when he started passing out. That's the car that he saw, and that's what he turned
Yeah,
into.
so he's like a saucer looking car, but he's a car. He is a car. And I think, even if I remember right, even Optimus Prime, he is a vehicle. He's a truck-like vehicle. I get it that the modes on in this movie, the modes in this movie very much resemble in their robot mode the Earth vehicles.
Yes.
Like Optimus Prime looks like he has the front of a Peterbilt truck on him,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I don't really know what that is, but even they show the jets transform, and they're Cybertronian jets.
Yeah.
Right? So when they transform, they may resemble those things, but they're not necessarily those things. And yes, Caleb, you hit it right. She-Venom asked the question, I wonder why they would need copy from other cars. They have their Cybertron forms. Well, because they're robots in disguise. That's always been the whole point, is that they are robots in disguise. They come to Earth. Yes, Eddie, you're right. I forgot about Rom, and yes, somebody else mentioned Visionaries. So yes, Rom was the other one that was part of the possible shared universe. But they're robots in disguise. That was always a thing of the Transformers. That's why they came here. That's why they scan. Actually, they didn't scan. In that original cartoon, they have crashed, as Woo Boy mentioned. They had crashed. They had the Ark. They had the ship that crashed into the side of that volcano, and they were there for like a million years or whatever, literally. And then something happened. It awoke I think the volcano erupted or whatever, and it awoke the computer. And I'm help me out with this. It's live. I cannot remember the name of the computer right now that was on the Ark, and it's there, but I can't think of it right now. But it awakes the computer. The computer then, because both the Autobots and the Decepticons were both on the ship together. Teletran 1, thank you, Woo Boy. Thank you, yes. It was right there. It was like one of those things. It was like right there that whole time. And Teletran 1. So both Autobots and Decepticons are both on the ship at the same time, because as the Autobots were fleeing Cybertron in the battle, the Decepticons overtook them, got on the ship. The ship ends up crash landing on Earth. They all kind of lose power, and they're out for like a million years. Then Teletran 1 wakes up and then starts recharging them. Teletran 1 sends out a little
Like rover?
robot, a little rover that goes out and scans vehicles from all over, whatever it is. Scans a Peterbilt truck, scans a Volkswagen Beetle, scans other things, and comes back and then scans the Autobots and Decepticons and turns them into basically what their form is. Now, that was changed for the Michael Bay movies, where they actually came to Earth. They were not in stasis mode for all that time, but they scanned themselves just to be in disguise. But that was always the premise of that, was that they were robots in disguise. And this movie continues that, in the fact that Bumblebee comes and he's about ready to pass out, and he scans a Volkswagen Beetle, and
I thought it was also cute when she was trying to teach him, look, you can't just transform like out of nowhere. And so she takes him to the beach, and then she's like, oh, someone's here, hide. And then he's like hiding behind this tiny little rock.
Yeah.
I thought that was adorable.
Trying
to teach him that, you got to be able to transform right away.
Absolutely. So, hey now. Eddie says, I'm almost 30 and I still look like I could be as young as your oldest son.
Nice.
LOL. That being said, I'm a 90s baby, and Beast Wars was my first experience with Transformers before realizing that it's part of the G1 universe. Yeah, maybe that's why I also love the 80s series. That's a really good point. Eddie, I remember when Beast Wars came out, and I wasn't really into Beast Wars because Beast Wars came on at a weird time. I don't know if it was like this for anybody else, but like Beast Wars, when Transformers Generation 1 was on TV, it was on every afternoon. I'd come home from school, we'd watch Transformers. I mean, we had a whole block of shows that would be on. There was like the shows that you had to watch, which was like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Voltron when it was on, and but then there'd be other stuff, like Dennis the Menace and couple other things. Anyway, so, but the thing is like when Beast Wars came out, yeah, it was the 90s, but it was all in syndication and like weird times, right? So I could never really get into it because it was on at like 5 in the morning where I was. Our local station that carried it, like I said, it was on at like 5 in the morning, and they did that to a bunch of shows that like later I ended up kind of discovering. But they did that to a lot of shows. What was the show? We just talked about a show that was like that not too long ago, Tiff. That was on like at 5 in the morning. Yeah, like Robotech was the same thing. Like Robotech, where I was like on
Heathcliff.
Heathcliff. Yes, Jeffrey Heathcliff. Oh man, every once in a while I think about Heathcliff. You know, but I mean, you'd have like DuckTales and and stuff like that. Woo, the good DuckTales.
Not the one now.
But yeah, I mean, so like it was hard to get into it because like back then we didn't have DVRs. We weren't gonna, and I mean we barely understood our VCRs, and I was a kid, so it's like I didn't know how to program the VCR that well, and so I just kind of missed out on a lot of Beast Wars.
That's how we were able to tape He-Man.
Yep. And so like I missed out on a lot of Beast Wars because of that. And then every once in a great while, Inspector Gadget. Yes. Oh my goodness. So I missed out on a lot of Beast Wars because of that very fact. But then every once in a while I'd be up at 5 in the morning and Beast Wars would be on. And that was kind of the early days of like, computer animation. And so it wasn't always the greatest animation, but, so it was different. But every once in a while I'd catch it. And the first couple times I watched it, I didn't understand that it was actually a continuation, or a prequel, as it were, to Generation 1 Transformers. When I found that out and watched an episode where, like, I think they actually showed, like, Optimus Prime or something, I was like, oh, well, I might have to watch this now. But I wasn't going to get up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I've never really watched all of it. Actually, that app, Tubi, Tubi, I plan on watching Beast Wars because it is on there. You can download that for free. They don't pay us a thing to say that. But
that would be cool.
it is. Speaking of which, guys, I don't know if you guys have seen these re-releases of some of the Transformers, like the look of them. I actually have a hot rod somewhere here in the house. But since we moved, I cannot find it. I have a hot rod. I have an Optimus Prime Generation 1. And I have a Soundwave Generation 1, but I can't find it. And so I got a new Soundwave that I picked up. Sony Crackle, yes. Free TV, yes. Those are two great apps for that kind of stuff. But I got a Soundwave. It's in the cabinet now. And I got another Optimus Prime for pretty cheap. But I just need another hand for the second Optimus. But I'm not going to pay big money for an Optimus Prime hand. But I just picked up at Walmart, Walmart.com for $12. They've been going for $30. And I picked up for $12 the in the box hot rod. And so I got that. Now they got the Devastator, which I would love because I had a couple of those when I was growing up. I never had all of them. I had the aerial bots. I had all the aerial bots, which was awesome. I had a couple other figures. I had a Megatron back in '84. I actually had a Megatron. I wish to God that I still had that Megatron now because I did not appreciate it as a figure back then. But that Devastator is $75 at Walmart. So I probably won't be doing that for the reissue anytime soon. But it would have been cool if the Dinobots could have all combined. But that was before they got into the combiners. I think the thing was basically just that they were that. So I thought the soundtrack was all right. Did you like the soundtrack, Tiff?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was some of the music that they played and everything, but
A lot of 80s.
Yeah, that's why I liked it.
I like that. Hey, I know I'm 42 years old, and I dig all that stuff. So I dig the 80s, and I'm young at heart. I love everything. So, but I felt that
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I like the way that Bumblebee spit the tapes out.
Yeah, when she tried putting it in the tapes.
Yep, that was really cool. Just spitting the tapes out like, I ain't listening to this crap.
Yeah.
I ain't listening to this crap either, right? So that was fun. That was fun. Now, what did you think of her as a character?
Her, the girl.
Yeah, the girl. Yeah.
I actually liked her when she was in Pitch Perfect. She was in the second or third movie, and I thought that she actually did a good job, just because she was the tomboy, which kind of, that's how I was growing up, and she, they told the story about how, she lost her dad, so she was still struggling with that, and her mom moving on and everything, but she had that tomboy working on cars, kind of guy thing, and she was. I liked that aspect of her, because even like Shia LaBeouf in the Michael Bay movies, it was just, I got a cool car and I'm trying to keep this secret from everybody else. Where
Yeah.
her, she had that aspect of her, but she worked on the car. She was the one that found the parts underneath, like, what are you, because she was putting it together. So I liked her character development. I liked just the way that she was. I thought that was a great addition to the characters that, kind of, I don't want to say own the cars, but it's like,
Yeah.
Cars kind of own them, but
Yeah.
it was like her pet. I mean, it was
Yeah.
adorable. I liked
I like the
storyline.
guy. I like the guy that.
The
I,
guy that liked her.
I like the guy who liked her.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was cute.
I definitely like the guy that liked her. I thought he did a really good job. Jeffrey says, "I'm so happy at 46 years old to see my childhood superhero cartoons hit the silver screen in live action. I'm so ready for Voltron and especially Thundercats."
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh man, if they can get Voltron going, I'd be very happy. I'll do this for you guys. Check this out right here if I can get this to switch around. So this is our living room. You see right here, got some Voltron action going on right there. I need a Princess Allura. If anybody has a Princess Allura, we'd love to see it. But see, we got some other stuff in here. That's one cabinet. Some Indiana Jones.
Right now.
Yeah, the other one's kind of here behind the Christmas tree. But you can kind of see here some of the old Mego figures. Mork and Mindy up there. And then, of course, right over here, you can kind of see peeking out. There's Soundwave. There he is right there. And then Optimus Prime is on the other side.
And then I have stuff at the bottom like Sharknado and Freddy and Alice Cooper.
There's some Smurfs in there. That's where the Smurfs are. So like, yeah, Transformers and Voltron. I would love to see a Voltron live action, because I Pacific Rim really got me thinking about that, because
True.
I like Pacific Rim, but I didn't think it was great. I would love to see a Voltron live action movie.
They can make a Jaeger, they can make Voltron.
The ability is there now to make that and to make it right and to make it better. I don't want a cheesy thing like the Power Rangers thing, because even this last Power Rangers movie was better. It was good. I was never a big Power Rangers kid either. But even with that, I would love to see Voltron. What superhero cartoon? Now, do you mean like superhero proper, or like you mentioned like all these other things like Voltron and stuff? Because I think for me, I mean, if we're just talking in general, like the cartoons that we watched, yeah, Caleb, Pacific Rim, the sequel was awful. I almost stopped watching it. In fact, at one point, I think I walked out of the room and I told you guys, just go ahead, keep watching it. You don't have to pause it for me. I'm gonna go
on your computer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do something here and stuff, and I was just kind of listening to it from the other room. But I have to say, like, if you're talking about just like the cartoons that I grew up with as a kid in the 80s and stuff, Voltron, for sure. Voltron for sure. As far as superheroes, man, what character is there that I would want to see? Oh, Silverhawks. Silverhawks was one of those things that, man, it looked cooler than it actually probably was, but it was pretty sweet. I got a couple Silverhawks in my collection, and I got a Quicksilver and the green one. I can't remember his name right now. Flash Forward, I think his name was. I'd love to see Silverhawks. That'd be great. But as far as like superhero proper, who would you cast in Silverhawks?
See, Ben 10 is what my kids love. That's who my kids grew up on. That would be kind of cool to actually see a live action and see how they would actually make the different
Yeah, well,
aliens, I would think.
yeah. While I'm thinking about that, She-Venom, yes. You guys mentioned that when Bee's eyes turn red when he gets pissed off at Iron Giant, like it's just like Iron Giant when he gets pissed off. That great scene. I love the fact that she had to like calm him down.
Yeah, she's like, B, stop.
You know, but she had to push him to
Yeah.
to do it, to go over the edge and actually protect himself. And I love the fact that, you know, Bumblebee was always this little transformer, right? He was always the little guy, and you know, he needed other people to rescue him a lot in the cartoons and stuff like that. It was nice to see that, no, Bumblebee is a warrior. He's a soldier. I loved the end. I love the end when Bumblebee and her are walking off, and John Cena stops and says, "Soldier." Right? I mean, that was great. That was just.
And he went like this, like from the movie. I thought that was awesome.
It would have been great if
The
it would
Breakfast
have like froze and been like, "Don't you forget about me," right? That would have been that'd have been great. Dun da da dun da 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 da. Yes, that theme is cool. Man, I'm trying to think though. What? I know, but I don't. There is a superhero movie that I would love to see, but I don't know if it would be done well, or if it would stand up. And it's not really a superhero proper. I mean, they're making everything nowadays, right? I mean, like when I think about all the DC movies, I mean, like all the big ones have been done: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Now we've got Aquaman, which was a great movie. I'd love to see a Flash. Shazam's being made, so that's already coming. You know, a lot of these you've already seen in live action. He's a superhero, but he's not, you know, DC or Marvel, or, you know, the traditional comic books. And I would love to see He-Man made. I'd love to see them do a good He-Man movie. I mean, we've got, you know, a Masters of the Universe movie, but it really wasn't that great. I actually just watched a documentary on the making of the Masters. Yep, Dolph Lundgren played He-Man, and I mean, a lot of love went into that movie. But but a little known fact here, you guys may not know this, or you may know it, and that is that the reason why Superman 4 had such horrible graphics, and you know, I mean, I just rewatched Superman 4, and I'll be honest with you, all the Christopher Reeve movies have a special place in my heart. Even 3 and 4. But you watch 4, and that was taken over by Canon Films. And when Canon Films took it over, they just they did it on the cheap, because Canon Films also made Masters of the Universe. And they were given a budget, and they used most of that budget for Masters of the Universe. That's why we got really cool Star Wars lasers in Masters of the Universe. And we got a horrible, repeated over and over again scene of Superman flying towards the camera, looking kind of green in Superman 4. So there you go. That's why. But like I said, if I had to say a superhero that I would love to see, and that is the Greatest American Hero. I would love to see Greatest American Hero in live action in a movie. There's supposedly a TV show being made. I'm not really sure about this, though. I mean, I own the series on DVD, and it comes complete with the pilot that they did for Greatest American Heroine, which was a woman. And yes, Caleb, that's just what I was going to talk about. They have been talking about trying to reboot it with a woman, and also making it like a Native American woman, you know, to try to put this kind of politically correct, you know, stamp on it. Look, what made that good was just, it was a nerdy guy. William Catt was great in that movie, or in that TV show, I should say. And it was a fun TV show. I remember being a kid and playing like I was Greatest American Hero, and having to take the 3 steps before you could fly. And like, I loved it because every week he had to try to figure out how to use different abilities on the suit. Do you remember much about the Greatest American Hero?
No.
Tiff? So basically,
I mean, you've told me about it.
yeah, an alien race comes down and bestows this super suit on William Catt's character, right? And so basically they tell him to be, the world's, this great hero, right? Whatever. And so he loses the instruction manual. So he doesn't know how it works, and so he doesn't know how to control it. It does all these crazy powers and all these things, but
so it's like Spider-Man when he was trying to get ahead of learning his suit when he wasn't
kind of,
ready.
yeah, kind of. But it was that would have been great, Eddie. Eddie just said when John Cena did the whole soldier thing, and it would have been great if he would look back and said, "You can't see me." That would have been awesome. Little fourth wall breaking, but it would have been cool. But yeah, so that was the greatest American hero, and every week he had to figure it out. And so he knew he could fly.
It was that, but I ended up watching like Three's Company and stuff like that. So
yeah, so it was cool because the episode where he figured out how to fly, and he would always crash land. He couldn't figure out how to land. He'd always crash into something or whatever. But the thing is, when he figured out how to fly, it wasn't him that figured out how to fly. He kept jumping. He couldn't fly. And finally, there's this little girl who looks up at him and goes, "Why don't you try running first and then flying?" And so he figured out he had to like get a running start and take like 3 steps, and then he could fly. So cute. But it was so much fun. I remember as a kid, and I would love to see that. How Jeffrey asked how it could be done today. I think it could be done pretty easy. I think it could be done as a comedic superhero, much in the vein that maybe I see that Shazam is looking. That it's a light.
Shazam can floss.
There you go. Awesome, She Venom. It's been good having you with us.
Yes, thank you.
She says she'd be right back. So
she's brought awesome conversation.
So I would love to see that. I think it can be done in that vein of like Shazam, a lighthearted superhero fun thing. I don't want to see them dumb it down like some of these 80s shows get brought back as movies. I was actually surprised about Chips. I actually kind of like Chips.
Yeah.
But you take these serious properties and then you turn them into comedies. And I don't think that does them justice. So but that show was kind of even though it was a drama, it was still kind of a lighthearted drama. And so I would love to see that. Eddie wants to see your best Optimus Prime impression.
Mine. I can't even do a voice that low. I could when my throat hurt. Transform and roll out.
Autobots. Transform.
Yeah, I can't.
And roll out.
Do that low.
I once did. You can actually find this on the
Yes.
channel. You can actually find this on the channel for those of you watching. It was one of my first videos ever. So go and look up our videos. It's one of my first videos ever. It's a Christmas invitation video to one of our old churches that I worked at. And I made this video. It's like a Toy Story type of thing where I used action figures and toys and everything.
And used voices for those toys.
And it's a pretty cool little video. And I do.
He did his own Optimus Prime.
It's got Woody and Buzz and everything, and they're trying to get everybody around because they're all going to go to the Christmas service and stuff. Scooby-Doo. It's got the Justice League is in there.
Flash.
Oh my goodness! My favorite line from that is Flash says because I introduce each member of the Justice League, and Batman's head of security, and so then the Flash goes.
Batman.
Flash says, "Hey, want to see me run around the world? Want to see me do it again?" And so go look that up because on there I actually do a pretty good Optimus Prime impression, and I've got I put effects on the voice and everything.
But it sounded pretty close.
Yeah, because the Autobots are the transportation mode that everyone's going to get to the church with my son. I did it all with my son's toys, all on his.
Turn yourself into a toy.
And I turned myself into a toy, yes, because I had a Superboy action figure with the black shirt and
and we both have that
the red S, and so I had the T-shirt, and so I turned myself into a toy for that. So
Yes,
that was a lot of fun.
very
So
cool.
go check that out.
It's fun.
Here on the channel.
It's definitely worth it.
I think you'll like it. Okay, so let's back to some of these comments here. Caleb, yes, I have heard that as well about the theory that John Cena is G.I. Joe, and the director has kind of like that. I think that would work. I don't know who he would be in G.I. Joe because his character wasn't in G.I. Joe, but I'd be fine with that. I'd be absolutely fine with that, and I think that would be a really good thing. If you want to make it as a woman, then get that chick from New Girl or something. Just a likable female actress that's nerdy. Absolutely, Caleb. That would work too. Jeffrey Willis, I'm sorry, says I was looking at WWE and Wells came to mind. From the WWE, I don't know if you watch, but Alexa Bliss, yes, would be a great Harley Quinn. Triple H would have been a He-Man. Chris Jericho, I think, would make a great Lion-O.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman can play a great Joker. You had me up until Paul Heyman, and I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Got the T-shirt to prove it. Alexis,
still fit.
Alexis Bliss. That's kind of her shtick. She kind of looks like Harley Quinn, right? And so I could see that. Triple H. The only thing about Triple H, see, you got to have somebody who has the body like that,
Yeah.
right? But I don't think that he has the face. Do you? Because I'd want to see him in that wig. I want to see him.
Well, he could wear the wig.
Yeah. He's got the body for sure.
He's got to be charming as.
And that's the only thing. It's like that's the hard part about casting a role like that, because to do it properly, you want somebody big like.
Without having to put on a suit. Like
well, Caleb, they just talked about today that there's not going to be a He-Man spinoff of She-Ra on Netflix. That was a bummer. I saw that in the news today. You can go to darkhorizons.com and read that article. They said that, and I found this really weird that they talked about how the person who's heading up the She-Ra thing said, oh, they'd love to bring him in, they'd love to have that, but we don't even know how that would work in our series or how it would work in today or whatever. And it's like, what's so hard about that?
Yeah.
Why? Because he's a strong male character? I mean, I don't get it. If you have a strong female character like She-Ra, why can't you have a strong male character anymore? You know, I don't know. I can see Triple H play Shao Kahn in a Mortal Kombat movie.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to happen because no update has come out since. Yeah. Have you watched the Netflix She-Ra? I've watched a little bit of it. Tiff, have you watched any of it?
I watched 1 or 2 episodes, but we haven't.
We gotta binge it. We gotta binge it because we've had so many other things to watch.
She-Ra. He got me a She-Ra for Christmas.
Yes, I did. I bought her a He-Man and a Skeletor, the new classics release, and so she got that for Christmas. And I also made her a custom figure of herself. Do you want to go grab that real quick?
It's upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's. We're gonna show you the action figure that Tiff got for Christmas real quick. Let's see. Like to see you in an Avenger movies as a hero. Who would you be? In Avengers? Oh man. I don't know. Who do you think I would be? I don't know. See, I was always more of a DC guy myself. So to be in Avengers, if I was to be in Avengers, I mean, I always loved Spider-Man. I always loved Captain America. I could probably do Thor. I could see myself doing Thor. If Chris Hemsworth wants to step aside, I'll gladly take the role. I will play that part and play it proudly. So yeah, I would. I prefer the original 1985 Thundercats. Casting and story should be based on that. Yeah, I agree with that. I like the second Thundercats. My boys really like the second Thundercats. I don't know what this new thing is that they're trying to pass off as Thundercats. Oh, thank you, Jeffrey. Direct a Transformers movie because you know your stuff, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, the Thundercats thing, man. It's got to be old school Thundercats because Thundercats. The second one, it was going good places. And I like the Chris Jericho thought, by the way. I really like that one. But, you know, nothing beats the original. You know, really, nothing beats the original. I like the new Voltron series. I think it's great. And I've really enjoyed it. I haven't finished it yet. But as much as I enjoy it, I would still say the original Voltron. Right, is is much better. In my personal opinion, just because that's what I grew up with. I mean, so I know I've got emotion and memories attached to it, but that's what it is. Eddie says, well, when I tried my G1 Megatron voice, I kept having to drink water. Exactly. That's why they use effects on the voices. So Tiff, quick question for you.
Sure.
If I were to be cast in an Avengers movie, who would I be?
Guy Fieri. Okay.
Guy Fieri.
I'm kidding.
In Avengers?
An Avengers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know that. I said I would do Thor. Grow my hair back out. I used to have long hair. If Chris Hemsworth wanted to sit
fun
down.
as like a Bucky.
Bucky?
I mean, still, you can do the long hair thing and get a metal arm on you.
Yeah. I like that. Okay, Eddie, I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let's see. I will address Caleb first. Have I seen Star Wars Theory's Vader fan film? Yes. Yes, I have. I watched it last night for the first time. It was really good. Tiff, you got to watch this thing.
When did you watch it?
I watched it last night, actually, while I was making dinner.
Wow.
I set up the phone and I watched it, and it was done really, really well. I love the dream sequence, and I want to be careful what I say with her because I want her to be able to experience it. But
You want me to close my ears?
yeah, okay, there you go. It's like we're on like on a game show, and she's like in another room, right? And so she's listening to music in the headphones. I love the dream sequence and how like you think it's going one place and then it pulls you out. I really like that. That was really good. For the people who are saying that it's better than The Last Jedi and it's the thing that's going to save, Star Wars and all this, no, I'm sorry. It's not. Enosh is MODOK. Now, you see, you just totally pulled me right out of my theory there. But no, it's good. It's a good fan film. Actually, what I'm looking forward to, you can also find this here on our channel. There is a new Star Wars fan film coming out called The Blood Crystal. And now it won't have like Vader in it, I don't think.
No, it has a Padawan, it has a Jedi, and it has a Sith.
Yes, but it is going to be a series as well. And this is being made by a guy who has worked on like all the Marvel movies. He worked on the series finale of Smallville. 300. What else? Benjamin Button. He's a guy from LA.
A little bit of everything. His name is Dark Hoffman.
Oh my gosh, look this guy up.
How awesome is that?
Dark Hoffman. You can find this here on our channel where
he does
we actually
his own
do
illustrations and pictures and paintings and
Yeah.
all kinds of
We
stuff.
did a set visit to
for our anniversary.
Yes, back in the summer, we did a set visit. They had a full-size A-wing that we went and got to sit in, got to tour the facilities, got to look at it all. We interviewed them, and the trailer is out now. We actually do a trailer review for it here. The Blood Crystal. It's not that far back on our videos, so go check that out. Take a little walk around the channel and find that out. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, the Star Wars theory thing. I mean, I watch that guy all the time, and he's good. I enjoy that, and I was really shocked at how good of a job that he did with that with this short film. It was really good, and I look forward to seeing what he does next. I thought he captured Vader. I thought the Emperor. I mean, the visual look of the Emperor wasn't the best, but the voice was spot on. I mean, the do it. The voice was definitely spot on. And well, we're not too far away, man.
Yeah, we're not too far from Chicago. We're
in Michigan.
Keep talking about wanting to make a trip with the boys because they've never been.
Yeah, so if we're ever coming to Chicago, we'll have to
meet up.
We'll have to meet up, man. Yeah, for sure. Because we're in the Flint, Michigan area. So
my favorite place to have pizza in Chicago. I don't know if it's anywhere near you, but it's the place that you can go get the Chicago deep dish style pizza, and you can write on everything in the restaurant. That was like my favorite memory of going there.
Yeah, so I love Chicago.
My name might still be there somewhere.
Yeah, so so I liked the Star Wars theory thing. So, okay, Eddie, back to Eddie. Enosh, how would you fix Bay's 5 Transformers if Michael Bay never continued them, but would want you to maintain his continuity? I would probably change the look of the Transformers. I would try to somehow stick with the look here from.
Woo Boys in Chicago too.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of Chicago watchers. Awesome. I would try to stick with the look that they've established here in Bumblebee. How they do that to be able to, how we do that to make a callback to it, to draw from that source material, because I think that right there, one of the problems sometimes about these new movies that get made is like we all get excited because we finally get to see stuff that we've always wanted to see on Mississippi. What's up, Jeffrey? I got family from Mississippi, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my grandma raised me and she's from Mississippi. That's awesome. So I think one of the problems with these properties sometimes is that people make these movies, these directors make these movies, and you hear the same thing all the time in these interviews. Well, I wanted to make it my own. I wanted to add my own spin to it. I wanted to do my own thing. Stop trying to do your own thing. I understand you're a director and you want to be creative, and I think that there are creative liberties that you can take, but stay true to the properties, right? Don't change things so much that it's no longer recognizable.
Yeah.
With Transformers, bring back some fun, okay? Because it seems like every Transformers movie has been super, super heavy. I mean, like super, super heavy. Like it just keeps getting kind of like more serious and serious and serious. And then like when we do have a joke, it's like a really forced dumb thing. Absolutely. We will definitely hit you up. We'll definitely hit you up. And so I think that's the thing is going back to that is making the movies fun, making them a little more lighthearted. I like serious. Look, I'm a DC fan, so I like serious in my movies. All right, I liked Batman versus Superman, which everybody said was way too serious, but with Transformers, I mean, you're talking about transforming robots, right? And plus, I would bring back Frank Welker as Megatron. I want to hear that voice again. If you got Peter Cullen, I don't understand why they didn't bring him back. If you got Peter Cullen as that, but I think that those are two things. As far as story-wise, I think you got to get away from like trying to recreate all this mythos of it. Look at some of those Generation 1 Transformers episodes and what made them good. And what made them, the sound of the transforming sound, yeah, for sure. But like, what made those early episodes good? Those stories, the characters, and so I think that's what has to be done. I think that if you're gonna save Transformers, you can keep the continuity, right? But we all know that continuity can change. So it'll be interesting to see where they go next with this. I hope that we get more of this Bumblebee style than to continue on in the Michael Bay.
It was visually tasty.
Yeah, because there's just stuff in the Michael Bay stuff that just didn't really seem to make sense to me a lot of times. Okay, so Caleb's talking about some stuff, so we want to get to that too. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would make it more lighthearted, get back to some of those G1 designs and concepts, and bring back the fun, and take a real good look at Generation 1 story plots, plot lines, and things like that, and even look at Transformers the movie and what made that good, and don't try to overthink it, and don't try to make it so serious and just a downer and so heavy and so filled with exposition and trying to create this huge mythos for the Transformers. It seems like every time we turn around, it's like, oh, the Transformers were on the moon this whole time. Oh, the Transformers have been on the Earth and were there, in China, and the Transformers were over here. Like, they don't have to be a part of everything, That, and I would kind of soft reboot it a little bit, at least. I mean,
every time you say that, all I hear is Tosh. Reboot.
Reboot. Okay, so that's what I would do there. Let's see. Caleb says, so I'm taking this with a grain of salt, but some reputable DC leakers are reporting that Zack Snyder has met with Kevin. I'm never going to pronounce that right. After mediation from Jason Momoa and James Wan. Huh. That's interesting. See if anything comes out of that. I guess Jeffrey says, I get so excited with some of these movies come out until we see the change too much. Yep. Caleb says, I don't think it has anything to do with him coming back and more to do with the anniversary of his daughter's suicide and doing something to remember her by. Travis Knight did right, bringing back the actual sound. Yep, the Bumblebee movie was fantastic. Is better than all the 5 movies, says Jason Star Prime. I got to agree with you. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. Even though it doesn't have the rest of the Transformers in it, just the couple of minutes and glimpses we get of Cybertron was almost enough for me. But I want to see a whole movie. What do you guys think about this? I want to see a whole movie. They keep talking about doing this Cybertron movie. If the Cybertron movie is going to be Generation 1 Transformers, and you get to see Jazz with the facial thing and Soundwave and Shockwave and old school Megatron and the Seekers and Starscream and that whole dynamic. Yes. Give me a Cybertron movie, man. I will take that all day long. And then I saw some stuff Caleb said. WB also renewed the copyright on the ultimate cut of BVS. Really? So I think we're getting a director's cut of Justice League with proceeds going to charity in memory of Zack Snyder's daughter.
Aw.
Huh. Most copyrights don't need to be renewed unless a re-release is planned. Huh. So, okay, so Jason, so we'll talk about that in a second, Caleb. So Jason mentioned, so the next movie is Cybertron. So that's what I hope they do. That we get this old school style. I don't want them to go back to the really jagged edges and everything.
No.
Go back to stay with this G1 concept designs. Jeffrey says, I cried in the theater when I went to see Transformers the movie. You know why?
I think we know.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
Inside.
That's one thing I don't want to see. I don't want to see them kill Optimus. It would be a mistake. It would be a real big mistake to kill Optimus Prime. But, part of me would kind of like geek out to see Rodimus Prime there for a minute, though. You know what I mean? So, like, if you do it as a storyline, and maybe he does die, and you kind of do a Transformers the movie kind of redux kind of thing. Like use some of those things. If you're going to bring Unicron in, I'd kind of be down with that. Just to see it happen. Because how happy were we all when Optimus Prime came back?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, right? Yeah, Ultra Magnus, that'd be great to see. Let's see here. Let's see. Bumblebee is definitely a soft reboot, absolutely. Woo Boy says, I wish I could get permission to do a fan film. I would do Transformers right. Thundercats 2, yes. Remember Huffer, Eddie says. Eddie Evolution. But we're not fighters, Prime. That's right. His voice cracks up for some reason. Yes, I remember that. But we're not fighters, Prime. Yes, absolutely. Jeffrey asks, did Joss Whedon mess up Justice League? Was he the issue? Okay, so this is what I'm going to say about this because Caleb is offering us some great info here, and he always does on DC stuff, and I love Caleb for that. Here's the thing, guys. With DC, people don't know what they want. People just don't know what they want. They don't know what they want from Superman. They don't know what they want from Batman. So did somebody mess it up? I don't know. It's Justice League. I was having a conversation with somebody about this today. online about the fact that the whole DC universe thing is like a bully in school says something kind of jerky to be insulting to somebody, and everybody else goes, ah, yeah, yeah, and then they all jump on, and then it's like, yeah, they got a big butt, yeah, they got a big butt, yeah, and then they just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. It's not any funnier, it's not any more true, it's just everybody laughs at it. And today, if you say, oh yeah, DC sucks, well, of course you're going to get people to chime in with you because there's people who are just absolutely never going to like DC. It doesn't matter what they do now, right? Because they feel some kind of connection with Marvel that it's like Marvel can do no wrong, even though the last few Marvel movies have not been as good as they want to make them out to be. They started losing me, honestly, at Avengers 2. Avengers 2 was just a bad movie for me. I love Ant-Man. I love Guardians, both Guardians movies. I actually liked the last Avengers movie, but it was predictable. All these people running around crying about it, saying, oh my goodness, it was so touching and emotional when Spider-Man died and stuff. It was like, it was a good scene, but I don't think Spider-Man's dead. You can't be serious, right? I mean, like Spider-Man's, like when Superman died, I didn't get all emotional. It was a great thing to watch, but you didn't see me crying about it because I knew, guess what? He's coming back. You know, they teased it even. And so with Justice League and all that stuff, here's the thing. For the first two movies, I think Man of Steel is one of the top 5 superhero movies ever made. Great movie in my personal opinion. I love it. There's people who absolutely hate it. And it's because, a lot of it is because like they see Superman as one thing. I see it as the fact that this has been the Superman that John Byrne created back in 1986 in the comics. And this is the continuation of that Clark is the real guy. And yes, Ant-Man and the Wasp was good too. I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp, if I didn't say that. But people, they look at Superman and like, so there's people who have an attachment to Christopher Reeve, which absolutely. I have an attachment to Christopher Reeve, but he's a different kind of Superman for a different time. And Superman can be more than that. Dean Cain was a different kind of Superman. And he was very much in the John Byrne style where Clark is the main guy. But I still know people to this day who are like, well, Clark's not all nerdy and clumsy and everything. That's not right. That's not Superman. That's the Superman I want. Guess what? That was Christopher Reeve's interpretation. That was not the definitive interpretation of Clark Kent. You know, in Christopher Reeve's movies, Superman is the main guy. Clark is kind of the facade, right? But when it comes to Justice League and Joss Whedon, I really believe people don't know what they want because everybody cried foul over Zack Snyder for Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman. They tore him apart. Now, he has still been a producer on all of the DC movies, including Aquaman. He's a producer. Him and his wife. So then we have the situation that comes up. Was Zack Snyder really fired from Justice League? Or did, I mean, you know, there's sources that say that he was absolutely fired from Justice League. And then there's the public story that, you know, he left obviously because of his daughter's suicide. And I agree, Caleb. Superman is all 3 of those things. He's Kal-El, he's Superman, yep, and he's Clark. Parts of him are all there together. But so then you have Justice League, and he leaves halfway through. Now, does Justice League suffer a little because tonally there's different things?
Styles, different directors.
Yeah, there's definitely those things. But Justice League, Zack Snyder gave us some of the best interpretations of these characters. I mean, come on. I was very apprehensive about Ben Affleck as Batman, but I'm sorry, that opening with Batman in Justice League in Gotham, with the criminal, you know, like the cat burglar guy and then the parademon, that's phenomenal. That reminded me right there of Michael Keaton's Batman. like being on the rooftops.
My
you know?
favorite was actually when Clark came back, when he came back,
Yes.
and he's standing there and they're trying to fight him, and he's just, he's got that look, and then all of a sudden it's like he's got all of these people in front of him and
Yes.
he's holding back.
Yes.
And Flash thinks he can come around, and all of a sudden in that Flash time, he does that look, and even Flash is like, oh crap.
I know.
It was like, I loved that. That
There's
was
so
a
many great things. Yeah, I mean, did they not get, the mustache thing right? Sure.
Mustache gate, whatever.
But
Haters gonna hate.
so it's not a perfect movie. It's not but I don't know. I mean, I don't think that it was ruined. Okay? Which is why I wanted a scene with Superman wearing the Kryptonian robes during the trial. Given Superman has always been public about his Kryptonian origin, lean into that. Let him show his culture. That would have been cool, Caleb. That would have definitely been
That would
cool.
have been awesome.
But I'm not of the mind that Justice League was like this horrible, awful movie. Is it the best movie ever made? No.
Flash said he had a snap.
But then it goes back to what I was saying. Like when everybody heard Joss Whedon was coming in to finish Justice League, it was like, oh, Joss Whedon's here to save us. Zack Snyder absolutely sucks. It's like people who say Nickelback sucks, but they don't give a reason. Yet the fact remains that like Nickelback has sold more records than like everybody and is like the #1 selling foreign band in the United States. Do you hear me? Nickelback is the #1 selling foreign band in the United States, outselling the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Nickelback.
You are a plethora of all different kinds of information.
Okay? Nickelback. But yet, you ask anybody, what do you think of Nickelback? Oh, they suck. Well, why? Well, because they suck. Well, why? Because they suck. Their music's all formulaic and all sounds the same and blah, 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 and whatever. Well, so does everybody else. Okay? So why does Nickelback suck in particular? Well, because they suck. Right? So now with DC, it's like, what do you think of DC? It sucks. Why? Well, at one time it was, Zack Snyder sucks. He doesn't do a good job in movies. He doesn't know how to write a movie. He doesn't know how to write stories or whatever. And then it was all of a sudden, Joss Whedon messed it up. We want a Zack Snyder cut. Zack Snyder had a vision and he had a plan and we want to bring that back. And he was awesome. Bring back the Snyder cut. Come on. People don't know what they want. Seriously, it's just people who just don't know what they want. And so, I don't know at this point. I don't know who made the good parts of Justice League. I don't know who made the bad parts of Justice League. I just know that, it is what it is.
We can show them what they.
Yeah, the Flash outfit in Justice League, I thought could have been better. Mm-hmm. I actually like the action figure of it. I think the action figure looks pretty cool. But the Flash outfit could have looked a little better. But yeah, the other parts of it I thought were fine. There were missteps in it, but who ruined it? I don't think anybody ruined it. Thank you, Caleb. Hero was a dope song. You know what else is a good song? Is Saving Me. Saving Me. That's my favorite music video of all time because it's got this countdown clock over the guy's head and he can see when that their time is running out and when they're going to die, and it's kind of passed on from one person to the next to go save them. Great video there. So we're going to start to wrap things up here, but let's see. Whenever Ultra Magnus speaks, Unsolved Mysteries plays in the background. That's great. But no, I would love to see a Zack Snyder cut just to see what his vision was for Justice League and to be able to enjoy that because I'm a Zack Snyder fan. Watchmen. People complain about Watchmen, but how much better of a Watchmen movie you're going to make? He made like almost a scene for scene, like bar for bar, panel for panel, thing from the comics. Yeah, it didn't have the squid in it, but besides that, Tom Welling. We met Tom Welling this last year.
He was super nice.
Super cool
Super
guy.
sweet.
Super cool guy. I would have loved to see him as Superman. I think that time has passed, but I'd love to see him on the small screen at least. I think that'd be good, especially in this Crisis on Infinite Earths thing.
Yes.
For next year,
That would be awesome.
I really.
Him and Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah, for sure. And Caleb, I do hope, like you just mentioned, that if they do release a new version of Justice League, that they fix the mustache, because I definitely think we can. Jason says, at the end of Bumblebee, we saw 7 escape pods, and I think the pods that are in there are Ironhide, Ratchet, Brawn, Wheeljack, and RC. But who are the last 2? I think it may be Jazz and maybe Prowl. I think that's probably the best guess. I mean, because we saw Jazz. Did we see Prowl on Cybertron? I can't remember if we saw Prowl on Cybertron, but we definitely saw Jazz. So I definitely think we'll see Jazz. The Jazz was one of them for sure. Hey, what about pole position? I don't. The cartoon. I vaguely remember pole position. I remember the game more than anything. I played the heck out of the game, pole position right there. I love me some pole position. I've got a Miss Pac-Man upright arcade game in there that Tiffany bought me for my birthday, the retrofit thing, because it was a dedicated cabinet that has the artwork and everything. And got now 60 classic arcade games on it.
Including Frogger and fun stuff like that.
No pole position, but pole position. I played that game a ton when I was a kid. Are we going to get an X-Men movie where we see Rogue take Captain Marvel's powers? I'm correct. Was it her? I don't remember, man. I don't remember about that, but I doubt we'll get that anytime soon.
See how the Miss Marvel thing goes.
We'll see how the Miss Marvel thing goes, and then they're going to have to somehow introduce X-Men into the MCU, which is going to take quite a while. It's going to take quite a while to get that. Let's see. And we're going to get going here pretty soon. Look at this photograph. Nice. Well, I have to go. All right, Eddie, yeah, we're getting ready to get off here. But before you go, Eddie, I just want to show you guys something. So I made this. As you all know, Tiffany, her handle on here is what?
Grand Tiff Tarkin.
Yes, because we're big Star Wars fans. And so, for Christmas, I made Tiffany this Grand Tiff Tarkin action figure. As you can see here, I used a Wonder Woman head, which I painted there, and gave her the hands there. And
purple's my favorite color, so
you
that
can
works.
see there. So it says Grand Tiff Tarkin, has Tiffany's picture on the back, and then right here, it's got her whole complete bio, right?
Which is personal to me.
Yes, it's funny. If you guys are Mel Brooks fans,
I am a huge Mel Brooks fan.
This
born and raised with him.
This gives her whole background and story, whatever. So here's the deal, and this is what I wanted to tell you guys before you left, all right? Before we sign off for the night. And that is, if you think this is cool, there's only 3 of these that are ever going to be made.
It's 3 of a kind.
3 of a kind. One for her, because she gets
I got
the first one. And of course, if you're going to make an action figure of your wife, you got to have one. And so if you guys never seen, I have a whole wall of Black Series figures because I collect these. So I'm making one for me. But also, guess what? We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. And we've been saying that we're going to do something special when we hit 5,000 subscribers. So if you've not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Invite other people to subscribe, because we're not going to do this until we hit 5,000 and we know that we're maintaining. YouTube's got this weird thing that like they give you ones and then they like take them away, and then they send us messages every once in a while that says we're cleaning up your inbox or whatever, your subscription list or whatever. So you see like 10 disappear or whatever. But when we hit 5,000, we are going to give away one of these action figures. So you can have your very own Grand Tiff Tarkin Black Series figure.
Do you think it's a good likeness?
I think it's pretty good. He's pretty good. So be looking for that if that interests you. Like I said, as soon as we hit 5,000, that's what's going to happen.
This could be yours.
So
not this one. This one's.
Yeah, that one's hers. Okay. It is sad, Jason, the cliff jumper died. Well, at least his death is just like Transformers Prime when he was a zombie and then got chopped in half. Yeah, it's very similar to that, but I think it was Venom.
She-Venom?
She-Venom brought up the fact that, you know what, they didn't take his spark, so who knows,
Maybe
right?
they can be parted back together.
Yeah, we're parted back together. Just get out the welding tools and get them back together. Caleb says, I'm currently writing a BVS fan script for fun.
Nice.
I liked the movie, and I want to pick your brain about something. I want to reimagine Lex as a lawyer with a morally ambiguous law firm. and he represents Superman in his trial. What do you think? What do you think? Would that work?
He'd have to have an ulterior motive, though.
Yeah, you got to have an ulterior motive for Lex.
Because Lex, like in that movie, gave what's her face's that little drink that she knew was.
I think one of the cool things about Lex is the power that he wields. So here's the thought. I don't mind the lawyer thing, in so much that, like, what if it's like a side project that he takes on? That he's kind of pulling that whole deceptive thing with Superman and with the public still, where he's still that, like, very wealthy businessman. He holds all that power. Yeah, he's still a billionaire. See, like, hey, Eddie, thank you so much for watching, man. Appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for being here. And we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who watches and for being a part of this. So, yeah, Caleb, I would say, yeah, if he's still a billionaire, he's still that businessman. Well, and the last thing we're going to talk about is the Optimus movie, Jason, before we go here real quick. But real quick with Caleb. As long as he's still that businessman and he wields that power and that authority, so maybe like he's trying to throw his weight around to defend Superman, you know? Yeah, I mean, as long as he has that kind of influence that he has as the businessman Lex Luthor.
He said it's on the corrupt.
Yeah. As long as he has that going for him, I think that'd be cool to see. I'd be interested
Yeah.
in reading that take for sure. But he's got to have that power. He's got to have that ulterior motive and that being able to kind of throw around his weight.
Villain
right?
swagger.
Yeah, the villain swagger. You know, and it's like, why is he helping Superman? And even the politicians and the people that he's defending in his trial is like, why is Lex doing this? Right? Like, why is this guy who is this billionaire and has all this? Why is he defending Superman? So Jason mentioned something, and then we're gonna get out of here. But Jason says, if you didn't know, the guy, who does the writing for the Transformers movies, has said that an Optimus Prime movie could be difficult. He said that an Optimus Prime movie. I know that they said an Optimus Prime movie that they wanted to make one, but could be difficult. Sorry, I'm trying to read a couple different things here. Yeah, they said it would be difficult to make one. But there's one question from the Bumblebee movie: how did Optimus Prime escape the Seekers, and how did he go to Earth? So, all very good questions.
Very carefully.
I don't see. It's the same thing. Like the guys who made the Avengers movies also came out a couple weeks ago and said, Superman movie is really, really hard to make. You can't make a good Superman movie. It's really hard to make because he's so good and blah blah blah. And I think that's where they're going with Optimus Prime. I don't know. Why is it so hard? I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's hard to make an Optimus Prime movie. Yeah, I saw that. I'll address that in a second.
Cool.
I don't think it's hard to make an Optimus Prime movie. I'd like to see it. Now, how you explain like all these characters doing things on Earth or whatever without anybody talking about it or knowing about it until Transformers, the first Transformers, that's probably a little difficult because they can't be there on a bigger scope. But they already established that in the last night that the government's known about the Transformers. If they were fighting back in World War II, I mean, so you can always bring that continuity into it. Yeah, I don't think it has to be hard to make an Optimus Prime movie. I don't know right off the top of my head how you do it, but I think it can be done. And as far as the question about Optimus Prime escaping, we'd have to see that story. We either have to see a story that shows how he escaped, or is it really Optimus Prime that escaped? And that's the question, isn't it? Like, that's the twists and turns that we have to, and the questions that we have to ask. Yeah, maybe an Optimus Prime movie explains how he escaped, or maybe we find out that Optimus Prime didn't escape. And we already got Nemesis Prime in the last night. Why not? Flirt around with that a little bit. That like maybe he didn't escape. Maybe it's a Decepticon ploy when he comes. Who knows? So that's a good point. And then Caleb said, one last tease, he's going up against a healed Harvey Dent, who is now Metropolis's DA. though how long he stays sane is anyone's guess. I like that. I like that. Good job, Caleb. I like that a lot. Well, hey, guys, thanks so much for joining us here tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you guys who watch. And if you've stuck around, we just thank you guys so much. You guys are so good to us, and we appreciate you being a part. I was originally going to have it be the Supreme Court in D.C., but people can't connect with that emotionally as Metropolis, yeah. So, great, man. Caleb, let me know when you get it done, man. I want to read it. And to the rest of you, thank you guys so much for joining us. So do you guys know Studio Series? No. What is Studio Series? What is Studio Series? But like I said, we appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means the world to us that you guys come and hang out with us. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And we'll give one of these away. All right. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, guys. Jason, you can always send us a message or comment on the video and let me know what Studio Series is. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you about that in the comments.
You can find us on Facebook.
It's a Transformers toy line about the movie characters that they didn't make back then, and they're fixing the original toys and making new ones. Interesting. If you think about it, put a link to that in one of the videos, or like come when I post this video. Put a link if you got a link to something like that.
Or you can find us at Facebook.
Yes.
You can also find us at Twitter. I am at Twitter and Instagram at Grand Tiff Tarkin.
Yep, and on Facebook, we are just Poindexter Lounge.
Yes.
So facebook.com/Poindexter Lounge.
We can talk and message and all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. You can send us links to stuff, and we could have cool stuff. And that being said, Caleb, you can do the same, man. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We had fun with you, as always. And I guess the only thing left to say is transform.
And roll
well, you know
out.
what? No, hold on. We got to do one last thing. Tiffany, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Bumblebee?
I would give it a 9.5.
9.5?
Yes.
I like that number. I would too, because it was great.
Yes.
It was total geek mode for me. So absolutely. So
I like
go
seeing
see it.
Bumblebee as a pet.
Yeah. So
I want one.
There you go. If you haven't seen it already, go see it. If you have seen it, go see it again. All right. And we will continue to talk about it here in the Poindexter Lounge, because that's what we do. Because this is
A place for nerds.
That's right. All right, guys. Until next time. I do not have Facebook, so I'll tell you about it in the comments. That's fine. That's
Sounds
absolutely
good.
fine. All right, guys. Until next time, transform
And roll out.
Roll out. Bye-bye.